Okay, so we are pretty much halfway done. We're on slide number 15, where we just introduced Primo Press. We had the logo fly in. Now we've got some text slides, which are pretty easy to create. So what we're going to do now is just drag this finished presentation off the screen and continue on with the audio like we have been. So I'm going to back it up just a little bit and press
Besides,
play.
most of the premium themes an attractive design created for a specific type of local business. In fact, our goal is to have a theme for every one of the common local businesses today.
But here's the thing.
Okay, so I kind of just wanted to have you listen to that while we went through the slides. So we do have to still add in an image of the themes. This is not going to be part of the slideshow. That's going to be done during the final editing process, because you remember back in the script how I told you that sometimes as I'm going through these slides, I want to transition into like a screen capture view of us scrolling through the themes and showing off the themes and stuff like that. Basically what you just heard me explain here in the last 20 seconds or so of this audio, that's where we're going to have a screen capture video playing here. But when Jamie comes back in and starts talking, here's where we have the next slide come in. So Jamie's going to start to explain now that we've just showed you how great looking these themes are, we just want to say that they're not just great looking themes. They do all those other cool things. So let's listen to what Jamie has to say.
Primo Press themes are not just a pretty design. Far from it. In fact, they are so easy to use, as you would say in the US, fifth graders could build a local website with our themes with ease. We know how frustrating it can be.
Okay, so basically Jamie just said the themes aren't just great looking themes, they're very easy to use. So we're going to create a slide that says not only are we pretty, we're easy too. Now hopefully you kind of get the humor in that slide there. If you don't, that's fine, but sometimes I like to have a little fun with things. So we're going to say not only are we pretty, we're easy too. So we're going to duplicate a similar slide and just drag it down, and we're going to say not only are we pretty, we're easy too. Okay, so I'm just going to play with the sizing here until I get it about right. You know the drill. And that looks pretty good. We'll add a transition here. I think we'll go ahead and we'll just use the fly through animation. That's pretty much my favorite one. So let's continue on with the audio.
Be to build a website yourself if you have no experience with editing PHP or HTML code. In fact, most people actually give up this business because they get overwhelmed with needing to edit code just to change something really simple. So we put the extra work in to make customizing your...
Okay, so basically Jamie just said a lot of people, they don't know programming. They don't know PHP or HTML, and that's why they have such a hard time with editing or customizing WordPress themes. So we want to make a slide that basically summarizes that. So we're going to make a slide that says you don't have to be a code monkey. So we're going to duplicate the last slide. You don't have to be a quote code monkey, quote unquote code monkey. Okay, so code monkey is basically someone who lives and breathes code, and they program every day in their sleep, and they wake up, they're coding while they're eating breakfast. You get the idea. So we just wanted to point out that you don't have to be one of those people to customize our themes. Unlike with our competitors' themes, you have to pretty much be somewhat of a code monkey to customize them. With ours, you don't. So let's continue on.
Themes as easy as clicking your mouse. Seriously.
Okay, so basically, you might have missed that, but basically, Jamie just said we made all of our themes customizable pretty much by just clicking your mouse. So we want to create a slide for that basically says just point and click, baby. Okay? Again, continuing on with the humor aspect of it. So we're just going to say just point and click, baby. Again, play with the sizing. Just point. And that's almost right. Oops. And now I'm messing with things here. I'm going to leave it at 60. And we'll go ahead and we'll play with a transition here. I think we'll just choose a pan transition for this one. And that looks about right. We'll put the duration down to a half a second and continue on with the audio.
Themes come preloaded with the PrimoPress frame.
Okay, so I just want to point out that as I'm speaking here, we're actually going to have another screen capture video where we're basically going to show them how the back end of our themes look, the PrimoPress framework. So keep in mind, as I'm talking about the PrimoPress framework, there's going to be a video playing. There's going to be no slides. It's basically going to be a video of us walking them through the PrimoPress framework. But as soon as I start talking about, okay, this stuff is all well and good, but how's it going to make me more money? That's where we're going to create the next slide. So let's listen until we get to that point.
The PrimoPress framework is a user-friendly theme options panel that lets you customize. Okay, so we know what you're thinking. All of this sounds cool and all, but how is this going to make me more money? Well, for start...
Okay, so here's where I basically say, okay, this is all great stuff, okay? But it all comes down to how is this going to, equal out to making you more money. So we want to create a slide that says, how will they make me more money? And then a stack of money below it. So we're just going to duplicate this slide. And of course, put in quotation marks, how will they make me more money? And obviously I have to play with the sizing quite a bit here, so I'm going to shrink that top line down. And actually I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. That's about good right there. And since we're speaking from the listener's point of view, we're going to switch to the green text. And we're actually going to move it up just a little bit, and we're going to insert an image of a stack of dollar bills. So I'm going to pause this video and browse for this picture. So I'm just going to insert picture and find the file. So here's the image that we want to use right here. I just grabbed this from the internet. I'm just going to click and drag it down. And I just want to take a look at my animation so we can make it somewhat similar. I'm going to preview how I have it. So basically the top line of text just floats in, and then the stack of money just rotates in. So I'm going to go to this top line of text, go to animations. I'm going to have it float in just like that. So select the float in entrance animation. And then for the dollar bills, I am going to have it, let's see here. How did I do that? I think it's wheel. Nope. Let's see if we can find the animation that we're looking for here. Grow and turn. I believe this is the one we use. It doesn't have to be exactly, that one. So we're just going to make the duration a little bit faster. And there we go. And we'll make it start with the previous so they come in at the same time. And we'll even add a bounce effect to this. Let's see if it will let us. Yeah, apparently you can't do it to that type of animation. Okay, so now let's go ahead. That slide is done. Let's continue on with the audio in the next video.